Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your mid-season tarot reading. We're going to open up the energy of the reading today with the White Raven Spirit. And this one says, trust in the magic. I like that. Are you making magic this season, Taurus? I think you are. I feel like you are. I feel like you have been. And I think that this is a season for trust, for trusting that the magic we're doing is working. Can't always see the results right away, Let's see what our first card is here. Well, we've got the Universe card. Very nice. We have a 3. Look at that. 3 of Pentacles. Work. It's a card literally of work. It's saying what we're working on is working. I think a lot of you are getting very close to the actual, manifestation of that magic. I think it's about to really, show up and solidify for you. Here we have a Prince of Wands. We have a Queen of Swords. We've got the Adjustment card. We have a Princess of Swords. We have a 9 of Wands. 10 of Pentacles. Look at that beauty. We have an Ace of Pentacles. And the Empress. Yeah, the Empress. That's perfect. That's your big rock candy mountain. That is literally saying that everything that you've been working toward, all your magic, is working, and you've been trusting in the magic, and I think now it's really about to start, showing up for you. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down beneath the video. Right down there. Now let's look around the room. We see major, major, major. Absolutely perfect. We've got fire. We don't have any water energy. I feel like the water energy is all bound up in our Empress, Because I feel like the Empress is a combination of the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. I feel like that together makes the Empress, It's not just the way we expect our life to look in the physical, but how we expect it to feel. That's the real success. So I feel like all that emotional energy is here in that Empress energy. We do have our air cards, which is very interesting. And of course, earth and earth and earth. Let's start with our Universe card. You're about to celebrate a major milestone or a major completion in your life, and you've earned it, okay? You've earned that manifestation. This to me feels like it's the end of that particular current of magic, right? Whatever you've been working on, I think is about to be fulfilled. To me, it feels like a completion, okay? And the idea here is, let's take a breath before you rush into the next cycle or the next season. This could be a mid-season awareness that, hey, you're kind of on the home stretch of something here. What you've been working on is working, and you're almost kind of finished with it. And when you do reach that conclusion, take a deep breath and acknowledge your success. Celebrate that. It's also saying, right now we need to focus on what things need to be wrapped up, okay? Because I kind of feel like, mid-season's a good time to sort of look around and think, okay, it's kind of like we're getting over the hump. Things are winding to a close. What do I need to do to finish all these things up? Maybe it's like you have a deadline or something, right? We want to look around and say, okay, how can I start wrapping things up? Let's start getting things, like I tell my daughter, she's 5, when she's working on a project, I know we've got to leave to go run errands or something. I say, all right, 5 minutes, we're going to start wrapping up, I feel like that's kind of the vibe right now. We're starting to wrap things up. Okay. It's also a good time to plan a trip or an event or some kind of a change, or plan how you're going to celebrate your win or your accomplishment. Okay, mid-season feels like we're looking forward now, and we're seeing we're seeing like, the landing zone, we're seeing the runway, and it's like, okay, how are we going to do that? Like let's plan that event, or even, planning a trip that you might be taking in the next season, okay? Something that's going to kind of kick off the next cycle for you. Acknowledge your progress, Taurus, because you've been making a lot of it. Other people can see it. You need to recognize it too, okay? It's a good card for sort of teaching or mentoring or sharing your knowledge, because that kind of crystallizes it or solidifies it. You know what I mean? It puts like the finishing touch. It completes that growth, that cycle, right? When you can just kind of like, you can share what you've learned, what you've experienced, and sort of, I don't know, not necessarily passing it on, but just like, I don't know, like after you read a book in school, you'll do the book report, and that just kind of cements the experience, It's almost like, when you journal after a big day that you've had, you journal it, and that sort of like, that solidifies it. That sort of like really establishes it in your memory and in your cellular memory and in your soul and in your aura, So find a way to do that as well, because that's going to be very important. A lot of success is coming your way with this card, and I feel like a lot of you are kind of on that home stretch. Yeah, very good. The Three of Pentacles is a card of work, okay? So this is saying that, there still is more work to do. We're going to continue doing the work we've been doing, knowing that things are coming to a close, that we're starting to wrap some of those things up. It would be a good time also to consider our collaborations. How might we be, trusting in other people to help us do our magic, It's kind of like three powerful magicians are going to be way more capable than just one by themselves, So it might be a good time for some of you to consider the people that you're working with, or even consider bringing other people into the project, okay? And consider how you are working with other people, okay? This is also, it's obviously the teamwork kind of energy, but this is also, maybe even asking people for feedback. So when we're hitting the mid-season point, it might be a good time to pause, look around at what we're doing, and even asking other people that we trust, can you take a look at this and tell me, because if we're going to make any changes now, we're going to have to do it now, right? If anything needs to be changed, it's like this is our last chance. So it's maybe like bringing in other people so we can get some feedback, because this is that point like of no return. It's like, okay, final check to make sure everything's good, because then we're going to bring it home for a landing, So that might be part of this energy too. But very much stay consistent, okay? Don't start feeling like you're coming in for the landing and so you can slack off, So you got to stay consistent. You got to stay steady with your progress. A good time even for like upgrading your workspace, upgrading the tools that you use, seeing if like now's like the last sharpening of the pencil for to finish the final thing, So it feels like it's that kind of a pause and like a check-in moment for you, and seeing where you might need to sharpen a knife or sharpen a pencil or replenish the toner and the ink cartridge and the printer or whatever it is, So think about that. How can you upgrade your tools or your workspace so that you can make sure that this final leg of the work is just as high quality as like the beginning, okay? Recognize what you're building. Recognize that just simply doing the work is really the achievement in itself. Regardless of how this thing concludes and how it ends and what the finished product is like, the journey itself was the real success, okay? The quality of your work right now has the potential to attract a lot of attention and recognition, okay? So you might be feeling like, there are people that are watching, or that there's going to be an audience So now's kind of the moment where you check in and you make sure everything's working, and what do we need to maintain? What should we replace? What should we upgrade? I'll get some other eyes in here to look at this, because now it's like, this is the big performance kind of thing, you know. You have your Prince of Wands under the surface here, and this is a fixed fire energy. It's a Leo energy. It's kind of the cruise control. In a way, it's saying, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it the same way you've been doing it. And I mean like the high quality. If you're going to upgrade your tools, if you're going to get some collaborators or get some other eyes in on the project, good, but keep the momentum going. Okay? Don't lose any of that momentum. Take charge of the goal. Be the leader there. Okay? But communicate clearly what your intentions are and what you are, what you're intending, how you're the one that's in charge of this. Okay? You're making those kind of long-term plans, and you're seeing kind of the end result. This is, to me, like this is that midpoint of a journey where it's just like, we're just sort of checking in to make sure everything is working the way we expect it to, making any final adjustments that we need, because we're getting ready for the landing, you know. This is the long, kind of difficult middle portion of something. It's not the beginning where it's very enthusiastic. It's not the ending where it's just kind of like the excitement of like landing that plane and coming to a stop and saying, oh, we did it, success, you know. This is like we're making sure that we can keep going. You're kind of the CEO. You're the pilot here of your own life. Okay, I think it's a good time to also consider the long-term plans here. Okay, we're taking care of this, you know, kind of everything we're doing now, but also understand how things are going to change for you in the next couple of months, you know, and even further along than that. And you know, if you are in a leadership role, you need to communicate clearly. You need to motivate others, but you know, do so with kindness. I feel like other people feel like a kinship for you. It's almost like you're not the boss. You're on an equal ground with everybody. Does that make sense? But even though it's your vision and you're the one who's in charge, you are leading this thing. There's like an equality that I'm feeling here. Okay. Now we have a Queen of Swords here as well. This is objectivity, and to me this is also seeing how far you've come, seeing the past, seeing the present, and also looking into the future. To be able to, in a way that's not emotional, right? And even with the Prince of Wands here, I feel like there's kind of a detachment from the emotions, because we're trying not to get so caught up in the day-to-day feelings of the work, because some days are up, some days are down, you know? And so I feel like you're trying not to be too emotional right now. The Queen of Swords is very calm, very clear, has set emotional boundaries, is focused on the truth, not on, you know, pleasing everybody around you. This is you using discernment. This is you decluttering your thoughts and maintaining your focus. Your wisdom is guiding your choices, not your emotions. Okay? There's an independence in this card. There's an honesty. Okay? And there's, to me, there's the emotional boundary aspect of this, where we're just kind of like, the emotions are data points, but they're not going to drive the car for us. Okay, so we're kind of keeping those emotional considerations a little bit outside, you know, the sort of the cockpit, you know. And I think that, well, with the Libra energy too, I think there is a lot of discernment here, and a lot of, you know, it's just kind of, at this point of your journey, I feel like there are these little course corrections that need to be made, these little tiny adjustments that you can make. Can I upgrade a tool? Can I sharpen a pencil? Like, what are the little things that I need to do in order to keep this thing flying steady? Okay, because this is the goal here, is the Prince of Wands, keep things going steady. The Libra energy is also understanding balance right now. Like, let's make sure that we're not pushing ourselves too hard, that we're not on the gas too heavy, you know, that we're balancing work and rest. We're balancing our sort of professional life and our personal life. Anything that feels like it's out of balance, try to bring things back into balance a little bit. In terms of diet and exercise, stress, your emotions, your relationships. Okay, try to maintain like a centeredness and an equilibrium right now, and I think that's going to be very important for you because it will sustain you for the rest of this journey, to that sort of that destination of that universe card, that completion, that ultimate achievement there. So I think it's important that we strive for balance right now, and I think it can be balance in relationships. It can be it can be balance with like I said, rest and activity. Balancing like the work-life kind of thing, balancing the heart and the mind a little bit too, making sure that you have enough time for enjoyment and that you're having a good time on this journey and it's not just such grueling work, let's say. This is also a card of organization, okay? Keeping things in order, bills, paperwork, professional things, administrative stuff. Yeah, clear the clutter out, make sure that things are where they need to be, it's kind of the mise en place a little bit. Everything in its place, everything's organized, like you have your system set up. Okay, it's a very professional card. I always think of like stationery. It's like it's neat stack of paper and your pens and everything are set up, and just to make sure that you're organized. Yeah. There's a suggestion here of contracts or partnerships of a professional manner. It would be a good time for those kinds of partnerships or collaborations or making deals, making contracts, that sort of thing. If there is any place where you might need to apologize to somebody, now's a good time for that because I feel like that's going to help restore some kind of a balance here. It's almost like there's a conversation that might need to be had. There's that kind of truth aspect that I'm feeling here where maybe we got to speak up about something, okay? Accountability and fairness are going to be big themes for you right now, okay? We need to take accountability, and we also need to hold other people accountable for what they're doing, especially if you're in some sort of a team or a group effort right now. Make sure everybody is accountable. Make sure everybody is treated fairly and that sort of thing too. Okay. The Princess of Swords is a very curious card, and it's really, it's geared toward asking questions and learning and being open to new ideas. And I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a conflict there, right, between the Prince of Wands and the Princess of Swords, because the Prince of Wands is saying, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and this is the path I'm on, and I'm going to make sure that everything I do is working for this particular path. But the Princess is like, I want to do some other things. I want to think of some other things to do. I want to tinker with stuff. I want to try new directions, try new paths. I want to explore other ideas, And so it may be that there is a time for sort of planning those future ideas while you're maintaining the very steady course you're on now. You can still be kind of keeping track of all of these ideas. It's almost like, let's write them down, and there are things that we're going to visit later. It could be that, your mind is starting to think pretty far ahead right now. It's starting to plan for the future, even though we're not finished with this yet. And I don't think that's such a bad thing, but I think that it needs to be regulated a little bit, because this is very curious. This is asking questions and learning. This is, clear communication, and this is studying something new. Like the mind wants to be stimulated, And I think that this is maybe something that we're sort of, as soon as we wrap up something here, then we're going to be open, then this energy is going to be very, available to us, okay? It's also saying, though, if you are doing any kind of paperwork or contracts or collaboration or teamwork kind of stuff, read the fine print. Okay, make sure that you really pay attention to those details. Don't just impulsively sign something or hire somebody or join something or like team up with somebody. Make sure you understand what you're agreeing to before you agree to it. Okay, be very thoughtful in how you speak. I think your words are very important right now, and your words are going to affect your progress. Okay, and so it's implying that with the people around you, there might be like an increased risk of misunderstanding. So let's try to be as precise as we can as we're trying to be fair and balanced and make good decisions and all that kind of stuff, and be accountable and hold other people accountable. We have to do that with tact. Okay, we have to be very thoughtful, even as we're holding other people accountable, you know. Whatever's going on, make sure you get both sides of the story. Okay? Make sure that you're not acting impulsively based on limited information. There could be something like that for some of you right now, Taurus, where there is a kind of a decision that needs to be made or a judgment call. Just try to get all the facts first. Try to find all of the get all of every side of the story before you make any kind of a final decision, or before you before you assign blame, or like before you invoke the accountability, you know, make sure you really have everything, you know, that you understand as much of it as you can. All right. We've got a 9 of Wands over here too. Now, don't forget to hit the like button too, by the way, because that really helps to push this video out to everybody that needs to see it. And I appreciate that, and well, so do they. All right. Now, you have a 9 of Wands down here, and this is strength. Yeah, and it may be that, you know, you're feeling, Taurus, kind of near your limit. You know, there's an exhaustion kind of with this card. It's almost like your back is really getting sore, but you're staying put. You're going to continue to do it. I think a lot of you are very close to the finish line. Don't quit now, even though you're feeling the soreness in your muscles. You know, very close to the finish line, Taurus. Protect your progress from any unnecessary distractions or any kind of conflict or gossip, or like, I don't know, I feel like for some of you there's something that it has to do with that accountability and that objectivity and like gathering all the information. So if there is something, there is some kind of friction or some kind of a conflict going on, or like gossip or like a scandal or something like that, be very careful about how you navigate that. Protect the progress you're making at all costs, okay? You know, right now, rest when you need to, but stay determined, okay? Stay steady, but balance your rest and your activity. Make sure that you can maintain your own sort of, you know, personal equilibrium, okay? Don't assume the worst about things right now, because if you are feeling fatigued, it's like we almost want to jump to conclusions about stuff. So again, with that sort of conflict energy, with the air cards that I see here, especially with this Justice card sitting up top here, looking at both of these things, it's almost like just make sure you understand everything first. Make sure you give yourself some time to think things through before you react, or before you make a decision, or before you judge something. Okay, Taurus? Back to the 9 of Wands, simplify things that may help to make your trip easier, okay? Find ways to avoid burnout, simplify tasks, and that streamline things where you can, okay? Endurance really is the name of the game here for you right now, trying to continue on this course that you've been on, despite some kind of gossip or some kind of scandal that might be going on, and despite your own fatigue and your own, you know, dealing with other people, maybe dealing with other personalities or coworkers or friends or family or whatever. Okay, this is really going to pay off. With the 10 of Pentacles here, I feel like the 10 of Pentacles and the Universe card are very similar here, because it's showing this long-term goal. It's showing legacy. It's showing that you are creating something that is stable. Okay, you're coming to a stable landing here, and I think we just need to do our best to to wrap this up and not let anything kind of, jeopardize the progress that you've been making. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of wealth. This is the picture of your best life. This is everything that you've wanted. This is your pets, your plants, your people. This is, this is legacy. This is intergenerational stuff. And it may be generational wealth. It could be financial for you. For a lot of you, this is your financial work. Okay? This is like your life's work, and it's going to set you up very nicely. Whatever this is for you, it is, I think it's the culmination of all that magic. Trusting in that magic, this is the magic working. This is long-term security. This is family. This is property. Maybe this is legacy. Manage your finances considering the future generations, okay? For the financial part of your life, make sure you're thinking long-term anyway, okay? I think bonds with other people right now are going to be strengthened through the shared goals. If there's any kind of a family thing, a team thing, or something like that, like we're all in this together kind of vibe, having the shared goals are really going to strengthen the teamwork and the bonds, even though there might be some kind of a dilemma. I almost feel like there's some kind of a potential scandal, or like, I don't know. There's something that is, there's something that you might be even like, I don't know, investigating or something like that, trying to get to the bottom of it. And it may be like, your word against theirs, or just some kind of gossip or hearsay or something like that happening, okay? You're creating stability anyway, but you're staying very adaptable. This is not just a 10 of Pentacles, it's an infinite number of Pentacles, right? So we're kind of thinking open-ended goals here, okay? But also finish this particular work that you're doing. Finish what is unfinished. Completion is going to help you to create the momentum, because only once this is done can you start the next thing, okay? You're investing in things that are worthwhile. Quality is really important right now. Legacy and loyalty seem to be themes here. We also have an Ace of Pentacles, and that to me feels like it's the continuation. It's saying once we get to the finish line, well, that's just the starting line of the next journey, The runways for landings and for takeoffs, yeah? So this is maybe another opportunity that's opening for you, and you're going to act on this one. We've got to wrap up this particular flight first, okay? This is another seed for another 10 of Pentacles coming down the road, yeah? This is for the future. It could be, savings, new habits, could be business ideas. This is part of the long-term rewards. Because this is like we're finishing something, we're solidifying something, and we're going to continue the process. We're going to do it again or do something else. And that's how you create stability. That's how you create long-term legacy and continued financial growth, or just life growth. This doesn't even have to be financial. This is just your life. And really, I feel like that's part of the Empress energy too, because it's an organic thing. It's going to keep growing. It's a garden, right? And you're going to continue to plant seeds and grow and harvest, and plant seeds and grow and harvest. It's a good time for upgrading the daily routine as well, okay? Continue taking practical steps toward your stability. Ace of Pentacles, maybe review the budgets. Find any like hidden waste. And that might be part of this air energy that we have over here too, is sort of identifying ways that we can make this more efficient. It's kind of like we're taking this flight once, and then once we land, we can say, okay, well, maybe there are ways that we can streamline that. Maybe there are ways that we can shave a few minutes off the trip, or like make it more efficient, or So find a way, maybe like subscriptions or like expenditures, things that don't really need to be there, and are kind of like wasteful or draining energy from our life, okay? You're building the foundation that the future success is going to rest on. I think that's really important here as we continue you know, the 10 to the ace is kind of like, to me it feels like there's going to be a real accomplishment, a real completion, and that's going to set the stage for whatever's coming next. Okay. This is going to be really, really great, Taurus. Now, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. They don't cost anything. Let's talk about our Empress, because this Empress is literally the best life we could imagine. This is all the comfort and the joy and the beauty and the indulgence in a life. It is the harvest. It is the garden now that is providing nourishment and fruit. Okay, providing a continued harvest. It's not just one and done. It's kind of like we're harvesting the crops, and we're also planting seeds for the next one, because we have to consider we want another harvest, right? Because eventually we're going to eat all this food. We want there to be more food when we're done with it. And so it's the idea of, you know, kind of continued growth and kind of an organic, ongoing thing. And we're going to continue planting and harvesting and planting and harvesting. This is your Big Rock Candy Mountain. This is your Emerald City. This is your paradise. This is the best life for you, you know? And I think this is a really wonderful thing. Whatever you're doing, it's not just financial, but this is nourishment, right? I think this is kind of the goal in life, but it's also good advice for right now. Focus on how you're nourishing yourself right now. You need real food. You need good rest. You need gentle routines. Bring some beauty to your space, flowers, candles, music. Give attention to relationships that make you feel supported. That's a big theme, I think, here too. Take care of your body like it's sacred, because it is, right? Spend time in nature. Ground your emotions by spending time in nature. Create something tangible in your life, something that is real, like right now. Cook something, paint something, organize something, build a little bird feeder or something for outside. Comfort and creativity are going to go hand in hand. These are healing tools, especially as you're continuing this very, you know, very steady and very, I think, demanding project or enterprise or whatever this work is. Remember, there's no water here. So the Empress is saying, make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure that you are, you know, treating yourself the way you need to be treated, because this is very demanding work. Whatever it is you're doing in life right now, it's exhausting. It's taking a lot of mental energy and physical energy, spiritual energy. Let's take a look at our mystery card. I feel like it should be water anyway, Taurus, you know. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Magician. Well, of course it's the Magician, because this is you making magic, right? Remember our card here? Trust in the magic. Well, you're the magic maker. So you're trusting in yourself, right? Claim this Magician card and tell me that you're the magic maker. Because trusting in the magic means you're trusting in that divine energy that's flowing through you, that you're transmitting out to the world. So you've basically picked your goal, you've acted on it, you're using the resources that you have, you're optimizing the situation. You're not someone that's going to hesitate and say, well, I'm going to wait for better circumstances, I'm going to wait for better ingredients. No, you're saying, this is what I've got in the kitchen, I'm going to make a masterpiece, you know. I think that you have this ability to program your mind for success. I feel like you talk to yourself a lot, don't you? Yeah. I feel like the magic makers really do, you know, kind of talk out loud as they're doing things, you know. I think this is a good card for like your workspace, upgrading the tools and things like that, and really trying to refine your process. Yeah. Eliminating distractions, keeping your priorities straight, okay? And I think dealing with maybe this whole thing with this scandal or whatever this is that we're feeling, maybe that is just like a red herring. Maybe that's the distraction that's like, let's not even get involved in that stuff, right? Or if you have to be involved in it, let's just try to make a good decision and let's resolve it quickly because we've got progress to make, all right? And we've got an extended reading to make too. Click on the join button, that is right there. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do oracle cards. We'll clarify love and money, and we'll spin a yes/no coin. All right. Taurus, I thank you, I love you, and we are all in this together.